the scenes that vote on it as
Yeah,
well.
of course.
Informed parties.
Pretty big group.
So it's our new system. So, you know, there's going to be some where we all agree, some where we don't agree. I know Tefiscio has a lot of fun with predicting who we're all going to think. So anyway, we're in Champion Select 4 Game 2.
Absolutely. Bard taken off the table, as well as Anivia. Interesting. Don't want to leave that counter pick up and available for Sencux. Azir not going to go into the hands of Febiven this time around. So far things going pretty slow. Teams taking their time. Shen ban remaining consistent. Want to take that one from Gamsu. Really interesting. I felt like in Fnatic's wins yesterday, Shen was not... I think that for me, the Gnar is scarier than the Shen. I'm wondering why the Shen has been such a priority here.
Yeah, well, we've seen Shen somewhat rise in priority in a couple of regions. It does give you fairly good split push options. We saw it yesterday with the Rift Herald be very effective, so I'm not too surprised. Trundle is available, as is Vlad here. So we may see Fnatic take the Vlad, Splyce take the Trundle, and flex it.
Absolutely going to be the case as Irelia and Braum are off the table. Vladimir left open. Gamsu instantly locks that one in. Splyce have to really consider what they want to get here.
So
about it. Caitlyn and Rek'Sai going to be the first lock-ins here.
Without the Anivia, though, this doesn't leave too many good matchups into a mid-Vladimir. You have Swain, that is typically good at out-sustaining Vlad as long as he has mana in his mana pool. And you have a matchup that has been talked about a little bit by pros on Twitter about the Cassiopeia, but the only time we've really seen that, Cassiopeia got dunked, like hard. And we were like, well, that ain't a kind of matchup.
That's not what we were expecting whatsoever. And of course, just such a vulnerable champion. No mobility, no opportunity to buy boots in the early game either, so they're not the best setup overall.
We'll see what they bring, though. It's going to be interesting to know what they pick up in response.
I'm really curious to see what the lock-ins are going to be here. Fnatic really taking their time. By really taking their time, I mean hovering Hecarim for a long time. But it is, in the end, going to be the Nidalee as well as the Gnar. So Fnatic sticking to the picks that worked so well for them last game. And Splyce, talked about counter picks. Looks like they may have something up their sleeve for this Vladimir.
We'll see. They were kind of randoming a few things there. For now, though, I want to focus on what Fnatic have picked up. Well, you got Vlad, who's good at team fighting and can be good over in a side lane, and you've got Gnar, who's good in a side lane and can be good at team fighting. So you got this nice little overlap. Okay, there is one of the matchups that we've seen.
Right.
Talked about mid lane. Ooh, okay.
Swain, of course, taking some hits on the patch, just a little bit of healing reduction as well as a little bit of damage. Laser Bird, but not going to be too much for them. And at the end of the day, Wunder, Olaf not working out so well, so we're going to try another comfort pick him with the Fizz lock-in. Rekkles instantly picks up that Ezreal. You're going to give it to him again. Of course he's going to play it. So much success in our last game.
This could very well be the type of game where like both supports take Ignite and both AD carries second item execution is calling. That's because we don't want the Vlad, we don't want the Swain. None of these picks need to get rolling in fights. Now that we've got the Fizz matchup, this is one that we briefly touched on in Challenger and didn't really expand too much further on. I'm actually looking forward to seeing how Gnar can do against Fizz, because a lot of what Fizz wants to do is punish, you know, and be able to close the gap and deal damage on the front side of the trade. The problem is Gnar's going to punish him on the back side, so that's something we're going to have to keep watching as this laning phase continues with this matchup. It's not one that we've seen all that much here in Europe, and should be an interesting one.
Absolutely. Of course, once again, Fnatic get nearly an identical composition. And the only difference, of course, the Vladimir out for the Azir, or in for the Azir, rather. And Splyce taking a very different route this time around. Trashy now with his hands on the Rek'Sai. How is Mikyx going to run this one out? He's got a grin on his face. He might have taken a lot of time to talk to this guy, and it will, in the end, be the Soraka. Sustain is the name of the game. And you talked about Executioner's Calling. If there's ever a time to rush it second, it is definitely against the Soraka Swain.
Pile everything on the Swain. Just heal everything, heal the Caitlyn. So we heard from Mithy earlier about situations where you'd want to pick up a Soraka, situations where you wouldn't. He was talking about if you get bursted down, that's probably not the place that you want a Soraka, because you need to be able to heal through sustained damage. And that's a lot of what Fnatic have right now. The Vlad, the Ezreal. Yes, Vlad has a fair amount of burst from his E now, but it's still pretty much ticking down over a while. You you get the Q, you get the E, the same with the Ezreal. It's a number of abilities that Soraka can then kind of heal up somebody like a Swain, somebody like a Caitlyn over time. So some good insight from Mithy into when you would pick this, and it seems like Mickey was at least on the same page.
Yeah, definitely, and I think a little bit different this time around for Splyce. Really like the Fizz pick coming in. I think we've seen Wunder be a lot more comfortable with it overall. Coach is now shaking hands as well. Let's back out. Get ready for game 2. Splyce, we need to tie this one up, and Fnatic, in the same vein, need that 2-0 if they really want to top out on the standings here.
I see a fair amount of benefit for Fnatic in the lane swap here. I mean, Ezreal Karma would still be fine. You also kind of dodge out from a Caitlyn that you can never kill in a lane, which is still, you know, optimal. But it's the Fizz. Fizz typically and historically has been punishable by swapping into, because he cannot sit on his own very comfortably, doesn't have flash. You can easily drag him out too far in the lane, and we'll see whether Fnatic can punish that if Wunder ends up in that position anytime in this game.
Something we will see as we get ready for game 2. Fnatic and Splyce running out of the base, ready for this second match. Thus far, maybe looking for a lane swap on either side.
But then the other thing we talked about is the 1v1 lane, and how the Gnar into Fizz matchup actually plays, and that it's possible that Gnar has a decent enough 1v1 that you want to hold standard lanes, because you can subdue some of what Fizz wants to bring, especially in the very early levels. Fizz struggles heavily into ranged champions. There is a lot of trading going back and forth.
Absolutely. Support trading with support, AD carry with AD carry, jungler with jungler.
Oh man.
It's a bunch of consecutive 1v1s across the map.
Only one Ignite in this game, and there is a Soraka and a Vlad and a Swain.
And the Ignite is on the team with the Soraka.
And the Swain.
And the Swain.
Yes, so Executioner's Calling is going to be pretty much a necessary component here.
When do we see it? Now, in Challenger, when we saw a Swain Vladimir team, we saw a second item.
Just get it.
That was a weird game. This, not quite as much healing, but I mean, at what point can you really afford to rush that item?
I mean, it's not that expensive a component, so it does delay whatever item you were looking to pick up next, but it's actually not that bad, considering the actual impact, the tangible impact that you can see when you prevent the Swain from healing. I would say it's a valuable purchase fairly early on. We'll see when Rekkles feels like it's a pickup for himself.
Definitely something. As the swap has come out, Caitlyn, Soraka on the top side. You're getting cheeky, moving in to harass in that jungle, but Gamsu and Spirit already on the way out.
Not the same as last game, where Wunder died at level 1 on the Olaf.
Already a better start.
Already better, yes.
Of course. Gonna have to see if they can keep this going. YellOwStaR getting aggressive in the mid lane. In comes the mantra. Sencux taking a lot of damage. Quick flash out there as well. Fnatic may not get first blood, but that is another good start for the team.
Good, because now they can kind of punish this Swain early on. Febi is dropped fairly low off Mikyx ganking as well. So obviously Swain can punish pretty hard with the Burt. He's going to place down, get that laser going.
The laser gazer, the burning ball. Trades coming out here.
Damn it, Sifo.
I don't like original names.
I know you don't. That's why you keep thinking it's Nevermore and not Nevermove.
The fact that they changed that still drives me insane. But now I guess it's a pun if I say Nevermore. I guess. I don't know.
I guess.
Man.
But what we know is that Febi is in a little bit of you know, a frustrating situation where the laser bird comes out and can get harassed down. Kind of punishes him for trading some of his health for farm, but we are in the old tower push, and Fnatic are getting the better end of this. They are significantly far ahead on Splyce, because Splyce have to wait for another wave to join them. You can see them now backing away from the turret on the top side. It's Infernal Drake that is Drake #1 of this game as well. So we may see the delayed standard lanes bottom lane, but I have a feeling Fnatic are gonna want to swap up top side, which is what they're doing.
Splyce now gearing up to swap. Maybe going to go for the Drake themselves.
Oh no.
Wunder.
They don't get the tower. Wunder. He was like one auto away from finishing that, and the rest of Splyce left early. That is so bad for Splyce in this situation, because now they don't have that added acceleration now to really look for the next phase. You can see, look at Gamsu is you know, calmly kept his nerve in the bottom lane. He's about to spot Caitlyn and Soraka out here. It's not like they can really kill him.
This is a pretty massive fumble on the side of Splyce. Of course, not too much of a gold difference yet, but shifts the way the game now has to be played.
YellOwStaR walks into the minion line, pulls it all the way aside to force the minions to push in favor of Fnatic. Mikyx going to stop Gamsu's recall, so that's a little detrimental. But Gamsu in the last game actually just teleported top lane when he needed to join for the push.
Interesting going to see exactly what Splyce decided to do here. May just have to accept that they're down a tower and continue with the lane swap as expected. Mikyx continuing to be a nuisance there, but will not be able to stop that recall. And Gamsu now setting his sights on this top lane tower along with Rekkles and YellOwStaR.
Note, he also did it on the minion that had tower aggro. Just extends the life of that minion. Of course, won't take damage under the tower and allows them to maintain a couple more tower shots of time of being in that wave. Whereas Wunder has walked down, only level 2. Don't have that same luxury. It looks like just the amount of time that Fnatic saved off that TP may very well be the difference between getting this turret and having it happen to them what Splyce had. Where, oh, Gamsu!
Oh, heal comes out. I don't know what that means for the team, but they get it in the end, and really unfortunate for them to lose the summoner spell there.
Well, I mean, it was one of those things where you either heal or you get back to base faster.
It's just... It's a really odd situation, because normally when we see heal used, it's like these really intense combat situations. In PvE, heal is very rarely the appropriate option, but...
Hey, at least we didn't get the double execute to Rift Herald after. That's all I'm saying.
It's the little things, the silver lining in the cloud that is having to use heal on your top laner. But of course, they did take 2 towers. They do now have a decent gold advantage, about 1k, but that top lane tower very close to falling here. Wunder ever gets an advantage, may be able to take it, but it's going to be pretty rough. 2 levels in the favor of Gamsu thus far, and Spirit, rinse and repeat here, just getting aggressive in the jungle. And
look at the wards that are already set up now by Fnatic. The 2 top side that are watching for when Wunder comes up top, and look at what Gamsu's going to do here. He's very likely going to allow this wave to push in towards him and he'll hold Wunder just before the turret. So that Wunder can never finish the turret off while they're sitting there. But he's forced to come deep into the lane with no turret behind him, no flash available, and Spirit's bullying Trashy out of his own jungle. Trashy, after this Raptor camp, will have no reason to be on the top side before his red spawns in under a minute. So this is all setting up towards Fnatic punishing top side, but they can't quite get there yet.
Chasing in on the Trashy here.
Oh, here's the pings on top lane. Wonderware is too far out. Gamsu did just get ignited, though.
Maybe looking to collapse here. Gamsu now in the mini Gnar, potentially a little bit safer, but Trashy here to back him up if he needs it. Spirit and Febiven are on the hunt. Ready to flash over the wall, but not going to get the opportunity. Fnatic hungry for blood here, getting aggressive, looking for these plays, but haven't been able to get anything yet.
Does give Wunder a little room, though, because Gamsu had to use his flash, despite being 2 levels up before that engage. Sencux gets locked down.
Spear actually going to miss here. Never Move goes down, as well as the bird, so going to be able to zone out safely, and Wunder now finally breaking this tower.
Yeah, Gamsu conceded without his flash, didn't want to get ganked by Trashy, who you can see has dropped down into his own jungle. So YellOwStaR looking to go aggressive, but finally Splyce managed to crack that turret.
Definitely a good situation. Fnatic trying to make those ganks happen does mean that the score evens out across the board now. Farm relatively even. Caitlyn with a small advantage here. Gnar on the opposite side with an advantage as well. Interesting ult coming in from Trashy.
Deep in the enemy territory, wants to cross back into his own half of the map, get the blue buff started for Swain. So knows he was safe to do it, just saves a little time.
Really curious to see what the big breakpoint is going to be in this game. Right now, things very even. Small gold advantage for Fnatic built on CS, but no kills dropping quite yet. An Infernal Dragon could be the next big point of contention.
One thing that's going decently well for Splyce has been this bottom lane. The Caitlyn has got a little CS advantage. They've shoved a wave away into Ezreal now, and they're going to transition it into the Infernal Dragon. What it does mean, however, having a Soraka and a Caitlyn, it's incredibly difficult to punish an Ezreal for being far up without a tower. Ezreal will be able to E away, flash away, he's got heal as well. So difficult to lock down, so The actual way that it transitions into a lead is by getting other things here or by bringing multiple people down to that lane. And realistically, it's not worth it for Splyce unless they can get multiple kills there and then get objectives from it.
Spirit, of course, duo jungling with Wunder there. Despite Wunder's protests, is able to grab that camp in the end. So small advantages once again. YellOwStaR still only level 3 though.
But Wunder's hurting in this scenario. Look at where Gamsu has the top lane. You've got Caitlyn shoving out bottom lane. You've got Swain in the middle lane who wants the farm but is now roaming into YellOwStaR.
Potentially in trouble. Flash goes down. Isn't going to save him from the never move. Rekkles, does he have the damage to get anything done? YellOwStaR running. Oh, great shot over the wall. Kobbe. Sniper for the team. Splyce very low as they back off, but happy to make the first kill.
And from here, Splyce want to look to continue pushing bottom side. They already got the Drake, but Rekkles is going to be enough to hold the bottom tower. Febi came down into that fight, but couldn't quite get enough damage down as Sencux is going to finish pushing out. But what that does mean, from having the vision control there, they see Spirit on the map. Look, it allows Wunder to push further up. The ping went down from Gamsu to say, hey, Wunder's pushing up, and the rest of Fnatic will say, yep, well, we can't do anything about that right now. But Wunder is still 2 levels down. Febi wants to try and go aggressive right now. And the reason for that is that Sencux doesn't quite have a large mana pool yet, enough to at least take a sustained fight against Febi. Febi's way more reliant on cooldowns and then his own health, and you can see he's already started building magic resist here.
One of the interesting things, of course, about the new Rod of Ages and the new Catalyst, however, is that the more you trade, the more mana you're going to get. So it's it feels like a rough lane for Vladimir because I mean, not a rough lane because no one's killing anyone, but even if that mana pool is low, it's not like you can kill him. The most you can do is bring your jungler there and like threaten to all-in him, because if you just poke him, he's just going to get mana back, and then he's just going to heal back.
I know where you're going with this. I know there was an incident on EU Challenger where we saw a Swain 1v4.
Yeah. Safe to say, if you don't do damage, don't
fight.
Hit the Swain.
Don't hit him.
Just don't hit him. You're giving him mana, and by proxy, giving him health.
Yep, it's kind of disgusting. Was it Jizuki?
I believe so.
Stood there against like a support, 2 tanks, and a mid laner that was like no health and just died.
Everybody died.
I believe the quote was, "Why won't you die, bird?"
Yes, exactly. Good quote.
So,
wondering if we'll see that again this time around. Sencux is looking pretty comfortable on the champion.
oh my god, this top lane matchup. Look at it. 80 CS to 27.
We're busy joking about the unkillable Swain, and Gamsu is destroying Wunder in the top.
But seriously, look at this. Trashy is bottom side. There's full vision control top, and Gamsu's TPing out. This is the same kind of play as game 1, but this is going to work so much better.
Could be set to fall here, moving in onto Mikyx, trying to shut down the Soraka first. Wish comes out, not going to be enough. Febiven on the backside to grab 1. Kobbe next to fall. Quick 2 kills picked up for Fnatic.
Mirrored play from game 1, but this time they managed to punish hard. Gamsu still has 3 levels, or just as Wunder dings 6 as I'm talking about that. Still 2 levels up on that top lane matchup. And yes, this gives Wonderwear a little fun, but look at it. There is still double the CS on Gamsu right now. Febi may have to be careful here, but he should be able to survive through this.
Ult's here to heal up, uses the ghost, starts to get aggressive, throwing out skills left and right. Sencux not committing to healing just yet. Soul Flare comes out. Fnatic getting so aggressive after they gain the advantage from that play.
And look at it, Spirit instantly goes into the enemy jungle, puts down vision control, tries to deal with the wolves, but he's going to find Trashy here. Just a little back. Well, Spirit actually got it.
Oh my god, that is disrespectful. But here's the issue. When your jungler is at the same farm as your top laner, things start to go wrong. And here we can watch where things really started going wrong.
And things went right for Fnatic in this scenario. We don't even have Vlad just in vision here. You can see Febi already charging up Tides of Blood. Didn't matter what ability he used there. Fairly straightforward for Fnatic, and this is just transitioning their lead. Hang on, we're about to end up in a big fight by the looks of it.
Oh, waiting for the next play. TP now coming in. Wunder has the advantage there. Febiven running for his life. Is going to get canceled in the end. Splyce overstepping there. Learning the Summer Spell advantage. Fnatic maybe looking for something back in return. Spirit throwing down the vision. 3-man core. Now moving in to take this blue buff. They don't want to give that over to Swain.
Are they looking for Caitlyn here, though? Oh, no, hang on. Kobbe's going to check up into him. He's going to run into Spirit.
That's not what you want. Level 10 Nidalee to level 8 Caitlyn. This is going to be a slaughter. Trap buying time. Can Soraka heal the Caitlyn up? Will Spirit fall? No turnaround quite yet, but Gamsu about to hit Gnar. Will he be
Oh,
looking for the
dear.
engage? Knocked into the wall, knocked out of the game. Mikyx dropping once again. Fnatic fans going wild in the crowd. Sencux still doing his best to trade, but all around him, his teammates are falling.
The silence kept Kobbe alive, but it spelled the end of Mikyx in that scenario. And now on the top side of the map, it has allowed Wunder to catch up, at least when you look at some of the CS difference between the two. So that is a benefit for Splyce. There is also a slight benefit for Splyce in the fact that this Swain matchup, although it isn't dominating against Febiven, is going to become more apparent throughout this game. It will become more difficult for Febiven to do much against this Swain. But honestly, the rest of Fnatic right now are in a really good position. You look at the plays they've been making with Gamsu, with the rest of the team. It's only a 2,500 goal lead, but it feels like Fnatic are running rampage over Splyce.
Absolutely, and of course the farm differential still greatly in their favor. 87 to 55 in the jungle, and despite all of the map plays coming in from Gamsu, consistently leaving that top lane to help out his team, still maintaining this 30 CS lead over Wunder. Fnatic now setting their sights on this Infernal Dragon. This will even up the score for Dragons, but the TP now coming in. This could be the fight. Spirit and Rekkles ready to go over the wall, but Sencux is waiting on the backside. All comes in. They're trapped in the silence field. Rekkles has nowhere to go. He gets burned down. A good pickup from Splyce. Wunder locks up Spirit. Will the cat go down? It will. Kobbe grabs a kill. YellOwStaR all alone. Ace in the hole comes out for a bit of bonus damage, and Splyce take control, look for a way back into this game, and manage to get so much back.
Yeah, that was the kind of fight Splyce really desperately needed in this setup for them. They were falling pretty far behind, and finally they've got something that can keep them in this game for now. Sencux is going to zone away the rest of Fnatic so they can take down the tower. There's a lot of zone control with the traps, with the Swain that Splyce can apply when stepping up to a tower, but they got to be careful they don't overextend in those scenarios. So Splyce didn't get the dragon there. It was Rekkles that secured it, but it pushed Rekkles into a real tough spot because this TP positioning from Sencux, he knows that he can deal all of his damage over the wall, even gets the never move there to lock down Rekkles, and that's such a a good position for Sencux to be in here. He can cut off the rest of Fnatic, force Febi to stick around in the middle lane for a little bit longer, and it kind of delays everything Fnatic are trying to do there. Can't kite back quite as effectively as they want to, but still Fnatic managed to get the rest of their team pretty much out of that.
And good silence coming in from Mikyx to make sure that there was no escape opportunities. Spirit getting aggressive, running in there. Trashy's incredibly tanky, but his health bar is burning down, and as he gets lower and lower, it just gets easier for Spirit to make things happen. Trying to get the execute here, chasing this kill. One auto not going to be enough. Ambulance Soraka on the way to save the day.
One spear may have been the difference in that, but good side step out by Trashy. Rekkles is going to push this wave as well. They're going on a full journey.
Hitting the shopkeeper, that's just a little rude.
That is rude.
His prices are a little outrageous.
You know what? I do prefer the shopkeepers on Howling Abyss, though. They're a little bit better customer service. They're a little bit jokey.
We like a whole lot of dialogue options for these guys. Very, very stoic.
But then there's that
Sencux. Spirit jumps in, no fear. Sencux, is he gonna?
Oh, it's a good job that wasn't enough to kill him. That would have been embarrassing if the
Swain healing saves the day.
Would have been embarrassing if the Runic Echoes had been the one to get the kill. Hang on, look at it, Febiven.
Mikyx
maybe looking for an ult here. They're stacked.
Flash in, gets aggressive. Mikyx starting to burn down here. They move forward, but the TP is coming in. The tower hasn't fallen yet. Can they get it before the fight starts? Gamsu, will he go mega? He's going to get locked up by the Shark. Will he burn down? They grab the tower, but no kills traded on either side. Fnatic just going to back off here.
Fair credit, though, to Splyce and Wunder. They've been able to get him back into this game. He is now ahead in CS. Despite
5-1.
Hey, ahead is ahead at this point, because he was down 80 CS to 26, and Fnatic switched their focus away from punishing him and looked towards focusing bottom and mid, which still has been working for Fnatic, don't get me wrong. Look, plays like this where Febiven just goes straight in, is able to put down a whole lot of damage, has been good for taking down objectives, but they have to then reconsider here as Gamsu gets dropped pretty low and can't really follow up on the rest of the fight. It's the same kind of thing that Greppo was talking about on the desk, where we talk about when a player gets behind and people get a lot of criticism on, hey, they fell behind, they didn't get back into it. Well, this is a situation where Wunder has had a lot of space and opportunity to farm up, and Splyce haven't particularly been punished for that space. Yes, Fnatic have had a couple of situations where they got kills, but look at it, towers are even, kills are even. Spirit steals the blue buff.
Spirit steals everything.
That's been one of the big differences.
All jungle
his farm as well.
is Spirit's jungle.
Yep.
Let's just clear up any misconceptions now. It all belongs to him.
I mean, he actually, I'm looking at the gold now. If observers can swap over to the gold differences, Spirit is the difference between the teams right now. 2,000 gold between Spirit and Trashy, but bottom lane is far more important.
Rekkles may try to make his way to safety on this one. YellOwStaR doing what he can. Good shift out there to deny that, but TP now coming in for Gamsu. He's mega. He's ready to turn this around. Hop, skip, throw into the wall. Silence comes out. Good play from Mikyx. Gamsu now running for his life. Tries to shut down Sencux, but the bird is in the back line. Lockdown for Nevermoon, not going to connect. Now starting to back out. The disengage is there for Fnatic. Nidalee on the way down. Vladimir as well. Febiven ready to engage. Spirit equally ready. Sencux, no ult quite yet. Is he going to get it up in time? Yes! Will manage to make it out to safety. Spirit may be hungry for blood here, but just backing off. Febiven on the backside wants to get something. Ezreal ult. It's going to hit Mikyx so low. Febiven jumps forward. Proto Belt to try to close it out. Down goes the mid laner of Splyce. Kobbe next on the menu. Can he duel this one out? Not going to happen. Kills dropping left.
Is
right.
Wunder.
Splyce getting something back, but Wunder set to burn through the team. Febiven trying to heal up. A lot of sustain on this Vladimir. Empowered Q comes through. He grabs one. Spirit makes it out. Are you kidding me? Fnatic absolutely taking control. They're moving forward. Will they burn through? Trashy jumps into the tunnel to make it to safety. He's burning down. Spear, auto.
Taking. Ooh.
Not gonna be enough. Manages to make it out, but it's the 3-for-1 in favor of Fnatic.
Incredibly extended fights here with a Swain, with a Vlad. These two champions that do not die in fights too easy. And Febi was the one that was left standing at the end of it. Fnatic will take that fight, and now from what was a 2,000 gold lead, expand it to a 5,000 gold lead, taking an extra turret, getting a whole bunch of kills. Now they'll back themselves away. It's a Mountain Drake that has just spawned. Baron is available, but they're the wrong side of the map and don't have a big enough advantage from that fight yet. But still, you have to be careful of Fnatic looking for those early Barons. We know it's a signature play of theirs, but for Fnatic right now, they're looking to just reset after that fight. Mountain Drake is up.
Going to be a prize for Splyce in the end. Fnatic may look to take this one away. Spirit does have the level advantage over Trashy. Can outsmite if necessary. Splyce just going to back off. Gamsu coming into the fight as well. Splyce have to be very careful about how they play this. They can't afford to keep losing team fights. Now Fnatic is moving on to the Mountain Drake. Splyce just going to back off, try to get what farm they can in their lanes, and accept this as a loss for them overall. 5K difference, as you mentioned earlier. Now the Dragon as well, and we'll look at this fight one more time.
So note that in this fight, the Spirit Visage is not completed for Sencux when he actually arrives in the fight. So this was the beginning of it, where we look at it and, you know, Splyce looked to be a decent start until Gamsu appears. Very late TPs in from Splyce, by the way. This evolved from a small skirmish into Splyce and Fnatic both fully committing. So you've seen the first round of TPs come through. There is a follow-up when Wunder, I believe, in fact, just runs down. So this is so long. Sencux here, look at his health and his mana. This is what you have to keep in relation. Finally gets his ultimate back off cooldown because he had it off him, trying to conserve his mana for the tail end of this fight. The problem is, he doesn't have the added health that's coming back. The Hemo Plague pops, Spirit goes in as well and is able to take out the Swain, and from here, Febi cannot be dealt with effectively here. Gamsu is able to come in the back, deal a little bit more damage, and Wunder, how does Spirit survive this? The damage initially gets the heal off on himself and jumps away. Febi is enough to play defense there for him, and man, Fnatic, very, very extended fight, but it's because Splyce did not quite have the tools available to fight in that. Sencux got chunked very low, didn't quite have the healing he needed, and ran out of mana too soon.
Crushing teamfight loss coming in for Splyce as the gold lead continues to grow for Fnatic. Not at all where Splyce wanted to be in this game. Do have opportunities to come back. No major losses quite yet. Inhibitors are up. They've got most of their tier 2 towers, but the jungle, as it always has, belongs to Spirit. Things just keep getting harder for them to hold control. Gamsu fearlessly pushing on the top side. Bottom side. Top laner.
It's okay, it's one of those ones.
Bottom side.
That's fine. You look at the bottom lane and you're like, ah, top lane. I've done that. So many
Stop,
times.
man. It's just rude. Jumps in, takes another camp.
Once Gromp as well.
Is he gonna throw a spear?
He is.
Yeah, Trashy. He's got the smite. He knows he needs to fight for this. Doubling the CS. Doubling the CS. In the jungle.
Next stop, Flame Horizon. We're a long way away from that, for the record, but...
Spear goes over the wall. Not gonna connect this time, Spirit. You can't have it all.
He wants it all. Like, he just wants everything. YellOwStaR wants to trade with Kobbe, and actually Kobbe took a lot of damage. I don't know whether that was from Rekkles on the start. It looks like Rekkles ult, because it's on cooldown, must have tagged Kobbe and pushed him back. But it's also forced Splyce out of their jungle on the top side. Fnatic now have vision control to try and set up for a Baron themselves, but what they're going to do is hold Gamsu in the bottom lane for a little while. They know both teleports are available. Sencux has his as well, but there are no wards set up for Splyce to really get too far behind. There's one in Tribush and one in mid lane that they could look to try and flank. And Fnatic are split up. They could look to box in Ezreal and Karma in the top side, but they're not actually going on it.
Not going to find the opportunity. Don't want to risk overstepping. And this is something I want to just touch in on real quickly. We talked about Executioner's calling. This is the risk of falling behind when your team is so reliant on healing, is that now very easy for Rekkles to pick that up.
Oh yeah.
Skipping along, Blade of the Rune King next. I'll just stop along the way and grab that Executioner's calling, and that is going to make it so difficult for Sencux and Mikyx to be effective in these fights.
Of course, for those of you perhaps don't see Executioner's calling too much, if you are against a champion like a Vlad, or a Swain, or a Mundo, or up against a Soraka, anything that applies a lot of healing and health regeneration in combat, Grievous Wounds is applied by Executioner's calling. That will cut the healing completely and make it like almost negligible for the entire time. So it just deals with all of this health that's coming back, prevents them from just standing in the middle of a fight and staying alive. So all Rekkles has to do is deal physical damage. Grievous Wounds gets applied. Swain is out of there.
Rough spot to be, given that Sencux is already dying in these teamfight exchanges. Does have the Spirit Visage to boost up that healing a little bit. Spirit. The fearless front line, they cannot afford to turn on the Nidalee. YellOwStaR coming in, trying to gain control. Does hit the trap, but no follow-up from Splyce quite yet. Gnar and Fizz continuing to duke it out on the bottom side. The endless 1v1, and the rest of Fnatic now setting their sights on this middle lane.
Problem is, there's no real way of Splyce dealing with Febiven. They don't have, apart from the Ignite that comes out from Wunder, there's nothing really to cut through the healing that Vlad's gonna do. And it's not quite as consistent healing as a Swain, but when it does happen, when that Hemoplague pops and he goes from 20% to 100% health, it's like, oh, I guess we've got to try and kill him all over again.
The worst part is he's always in pool when it happens, right?
Yeah.
And then it's just, oh, you were dead when you came up, and now you're 100% again.
Kind of fits the lore, don't you think?
I think so.
I think it actually does.
Thematically, a much more sound champion this time around.
Yeah. It's what we judge the strength of champions on.
Thematically, this team comp really makes sense because these two champions are friends.
Oh, YellOwStaR is on a trap. Spirit wants to push a tower on his own, in melee form as well. Not typically seen.
Getting aggressive.
What? Mikey's dead. Mickey's dead.
Mickey's dead. Doesn't matter what we call him, he's definitely dead, and Fnatic take another tower. Sencux is doing his best to push on the top side, but Fnatic have got their sights set on this inhibitor. Mountain Dragon up shortly as well. Fnatic taking control in the mid lane. Sencux does have TP available.
And there are wards behind Fnatic if they choose to go for this.
Gamsu's just continuing to push on the bottom side, however.
He's building Mega Gnar as well, so he finally has it back available. This is a very good situation for Fnatic, but I like that Splyce aren't giving in yet. Sencux wants to continue pressing his advantage in that top side now, try and push through top lane. So Dragon again, Mountain.
They know this one is going to fall, so Splyce are now pushing in the middle lane, trying to get as much pressure down as they possibly can. Sencux will most likely be able to burn through that tier 2 tower. Trashy and Kobbe gonna have to back off here, but with double Mountain Drake in favor of Fnatic, things are gonna get really quickly here if they try to go for that Baron.
But I like what Splyce have done, is that they've taken vision control. So we're seeing how Mikyx died. Oh, okay, it was that simple. Fair enough. Rekkles trying to take out 2 people at once. hits one with the ult, one with the Q, jumps over the wall, finishes him off. Style points.
Oh,
Oh, nearly
almost
steals himself a blue. And he's going to tag Mikyx. Oh, so close.
Band of thieves. Taking everything.
Splyce got a whole lot of vision control in the top side. So they're able now to at least spot if Fnatic are going for the Baron. Fnatic are going to have to clear that out. Rift Spirit is one of the things that is spotted out Nidalee in the jungle as well. But the problem is Fnatic are just going to step up to that Baron pit and kind of push Splyce back. So without a good TP play, it's going to be tough.
YellOwStaR and Rekkles getting aggressive here. YellOwStaR doesn't even really do damage at this point. He's just slowing people down.
Yeah.
Making sure nobody feels safe in this jungle.
He's performing 3 roles. He's performing Siv's ultimate. He's also performing an Iceborne Gauntlet. And I guess like LeBlanc chains, something like that. Whatever the W compare it to. Like, that's it. He's like 3 different parts.
He has 3 abilities.
Yeah.
Sivir ult, LeBlanc chain, and Iceborne Gauntlet.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah. Fair way to
look
look at it.
It's all good. Like, keep in mind, because he's running wind speakers, the amount of resistances they're going to get.
Good news for Splyce, of course, is that there's an Executioner's Calling on their side now as well.
Finally.
Struggling to heal up, at least a little bit there. Both AD carries on 3 items, in addition to that Executioner's Calling, so relatively even between the 2 of them. Game continuing to extend, though, 30-minute mark. Still a massive gold lead for Fnatic. Next dragon, of course, going to be that Mountain Drake. Could be an important point of contention here.
Probably trying to catch Febiven with the net so we can get that empowered auto to come out after. Doesn't quite land. We have been kind of shoved into a mid lane focused game right now, where Fnatic can't really afford to go for the Baron straight up, and Splyce are a little too slippery for Fnatic to lock down without them making a mistake. And this is where Splyce being able to play on the 3rd lane is fairly frustrating for Fnatic, because now Sencux will go top lane, will shove the wave back, force somebody to come in and deal with that, at which point if it's Gamsu, he then concedes a little bit of room against Wunder. If it's not, they don't have a TP. So this is what Splyce have been working on that Trashy was talking about, is utilizing this 3-lane centric play style with 2 teleports coming out. You've got the double Sightstone jungler, allows you to get vision control for the side lanes.
Of course, a big vulnerability for Fnatic here is that they don't really have the engage options outside of the Gnar in their composition.
Well, they are going to start on the Baron. Doesn't matter to them about engage. We'll see who comes out of the bottom side first. They both can interrupt TPs. Well, at least Wunder can, just by using his ultimate. Gamsu would have to get Mega Gnar first. No committing from either team. And again, it's because Fnatic don't feel confident enough to rush it down. Yes, they have control of the map, but Splyce are close enough that without getting picked off, it's basically impossible. And for Splyce's sake, they actually don't want to stray too much further than where they are now, because they still recognize they're behind. Wunder
Gamsu going in, wants the 1v1. Wunder now running for his life. One more auto. Can he outplay this? Fight coming in. Wish goes down as well. Swain going to cancel that TP, but now Fnatic are free to move into this Baron.
Thing is, Wunder can just recall now. If he recalled earlier, he would be able to TP in a better spot here. Gamsu is no ultimate. Wunder is no ultimate. Both top laners have basically used everything, and they're racing to get back. Nobody's going to hit a TP yet, because the fight has been disengaged first from both teams. And Fnatic, after yesterday being in a bunch of 50-50 situations on the Smites, do not want to end up in the same spot against Splyce right now, despite the fact that Fnatic have such a good lead.
Sencux and the rest of the team now pushing down the mid lane, may be able to get a tower in the end. Fnatic, though, looking for the flank. Ult comes down the mid lane. Gamsu over the walls. No Mega Gnar yet, but flash in from Febi. Hemoplague goes down. TP for backup, though. Here comes Wunder. Sencux slowly burning. Wunder doing what he can, but one is going to drop. Gamsu now in the Mega Gnar. Maybe looking for something else. Wunder burning down Febiven as well, but they simply will not die on the side of Fnatic. Kobbe can't even get in to deal the damage, but he's going to be able to get one, or is he? Gamsu making it to safety. Rekkles going massive. Febiven cleaning house. And that's going to be the ace for Fnatic.
Somehow, someway, Fnatic maintain slithers of health bars during that fight and completely wipe Splyce. Just like the end of Game 1 in this series, they're waiting now on the minion wave to try and push forward. Mickey's going to be up. Wunder and Trashy may make it up, but Fnatic look like they may just want to push this through.
Defiance coming in from YellOwStaR, maybe looking to end the game. Febiven dashes forward, Proto Belt now used up. Gamsu steadily turning into the Mega Gnar. Towers are falling. Mountain Drake making it so easy.
Mikyx
gonna drop.
That's it.
Trashy, the next member. Fnatic are going to take this set 2-0. One team fight blows the game wide open, and Fnatic close with confidence. I think an absolutely fantastic performance from them coming out today, and in the end, Spirit does hit the flame horizon in the jungle. Something I never knew was possible. 205 CS to 95, but across the board, the team performed incredibly well. Have to be happy with that one. And on the side of Splyce, made some good moves, but at the end of the day, dominated there, or got dominated by the opposition.
I mean, Fnatic, it was a pretty convincing, solid performance. At the same time, though, I think a lot has to be said. They got stalled out in both games a little. Getting later on, they were looking for options. This game, around the Baron Pit a fair amount, not starting it out too much, but you know, they were in a situation where they had a fair lead, and I mean, I've got to say props to Wunder for finding the space in this game, and you know, whether that's Fnatic giving it to him or Wunder actually being able to find that space. He came back from a heavy deficit that we've not really seen players come too far back from. So still, Splyce showed us that they had some potency in fights. They were still farming well. The problem is Fnatic just had too much of a lead, and that last fight went so well for them. I hope we're going to get a replay of that at some point, whether it's on the analyst desk or not. But man, that last fight was touch and go. Everybody on Fnatic was so low.
Yeah, I think, almost overwhelming how well Fnatic were able to play that out, the advantages that they were able to gain. I think you're right to praise Wunder. Oof, words are tough. Words are hard.